welcome to the Spotlight. Today we are spotlighting morals and ethical dilemmas. This is going to continue a conversation that was started yesterday on the Brooklyn Cafe show. So I want to reiterate one of the questions that was asked, the question that was asked yesterday, since some of the folks here didn't get a chance to answer it. So this is going to be our baseline question going forward. So you have a train going down a train tracks, right? The tracks are about to diverge. On one side, there are 5 people you don't know. On the other side, there's one person that you know. It's a family member, you love them. And you have to pick which way the train is going to go. And the people can't move. Which path do you take?
The people.
The 5?
The 5?
Yep.
So do the and this was a question posed yesterday as well, do the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few?
Yeah.
Someone I care about? Yes.
It's a sad
That's
thing,
kind of my morality.
So the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few?
Then is it considered bad or good if you do that, though?
Well, that's the question. Which one would you choose?
The people. I think that's my own version of good.
You would choose to have the train go there, or you would choose to save them?
How can you save them?
By making the train go on the other track.
Then you kill the person you love also.
Yes. No. The train only goes one way. The track diverges.
Right.
And you've got the lever, so you choose which way it goes. It has to go one way. Do you make it go the path with the 5 people? Or do you pull the lever and make it go on the other path? No matter what you choose, one group's going to be safe and one group's not going to be safe.
So either the group of the 5 that you don't know is safe, or your very loved one is safe.
I don't know those people, so those people.
Oh, wow.
You would save the 5 that you don't know?
No, I would save the person that I
That
know.
you love.
See, I don't know.
You don't
I
know.
really
guilt.
don't.
Oh yeah, you
Lenny?
gotta
Five. More
either
people.
way, you still,
There's more life there.
well, either
You're
way, you
killing more
still
life.
carry the burden of people you lost or let live, actually.
I wouldn't want to lose any of them. That's my
Of
thing.
course.
But how can you?
You can't answer. You're not answering the
Right.
question, though.
Right.
See, and I was thinking about this the other day too, and it might even depend on like who specifically that loved one is on the track, right? Because if you chose them and you make it through and they find out what happened, and they would have some sort of survivor's guilt, right?
Yeah.
So you would have to think about your loved one and what they would be going through as well. So does that change your answer any? If you pick specifically a person, depending on that loved one on the track, would that change your answer?
No.
No? Lenny?
Still, I'd save more souls. 5 souls is more important than 1 soul. Even if you know that person more, you're attached to them more, I guess. But
Okay.
Still, it's still 5 lives versus 1 life. It's kind of logic and math.
Can I ask this? What happens to your own mother then? Your own mother.
Oh, my own mother. That's
Exactly.
more to the question.
Make it a specific
so
person
sad.
in your mind.
Oh, I don't want to say that. Should I be watching now? And I should be offended. But I would save 5 lives. I really would. That's my morals.
I think I would do the one loved one.
The one
honestly.
loved one.
I think so. Because if it was like my boyfriend, my mom, my grandma, any of them along those lines, I want to keep them around as long as I can.
So this is a question Freddie posed yesterday as well. Does the age of the people matter? So in your case, if you would choose the loved one and the loved one on the track was someone who is older, but the 5 on the other track are younger, Freddie posited that he would always choose the younger person because they have more life to live. They have more
Right.
to do and experience. Would the age affect if it was younger people in that group of 5?
For me, I think it would be like, I think it would boil down to it. Like if it was my 90-year-old grandma, who I love very much, but then on the other end, it was like 5 teenagers, 18 young or whatever, like around my brother's age, I think I would steer it towards my grandma, like just because, again, she's lived her life to the fullest. They have not.
And then there was a twist on this I saw last night. So if the train is going and it's the same scenario. There's 5 on one track, 1 on the other. The 5 people are asleep. They won't know what's happening, not going to have a clue. And that one person is awake and will understand everything that's about to happen. Would you, Lenny, would
a
you
hard
still
question.
choose the 5 people to save?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Well, you have to you also think about how the lives they're affecting when they die, even though they don't die in peace. After will their family suffer a lot? That's you think about that. But I guess if they die in peace, as someone who's dying and suffering, I guess I would pick. I have to change my mind in that situation. Save the one person because that person I want that person to suffer.
What about you, Hector?
So trolley car problem, only with a twist. So brakes busted. You can't really throw yourself under it. Otherwise, because it's not going to
Can't stop it. Can't throw anyone under it. It's got to go.
Do I know any of them personally?
There's 5 strangers
Because I
on
could-
one track, and there's your loved one. Just one of you, one person that you love on the other track.
I didn't say love. I said no because that could change things. Because if I know the guy and I hate their guts, it's going to change things.
It's someone you love. It's someone you know and love on one track, or 5 complete strangers on the other.
I don't love a lot of people, so that's going to change a lot of things.
That's a different conversation. Very selective with your love.
That's not even that. Never mind. Again, the whole point of this is pretty much just to force someone to just accept the fact that there is no good answer.
Yeah.
So I guess the answer is just close my eyes, just close my eyes, just pick one of the, just do any.
Pull the lever.
Just pull the lever.
This is gonna be horrible. This is gonna be a horrible, traumatizing incident either way. So might as well just leave it up to a coin toss.
Teddy, we have Teddy on board. Teddy, do you want to pick up a mic? No?
Try yelling.
We won't, but they will.
Oh. Well, you can still let them, I can hear you. You can still let them know if you want to join in.
It's a trolley car problem. Only now the twist is that you have the person on the right's awake and 5 people are basically just stone sleep, or just like really heavy sleepers.
It's just super heavy sleepers. It was a wild night.
Yep.
Are we adding the age into it again?
No, but supposedly the one person who's awake and it's on the right side of the track have to be somebody you have some sort of emotional connection to. Hopefully a positive one.
It's a really hard question because my gut instinct is to say, the many outweighs the few. If you have to make a sacrifice for yourself to have others be better off, that's usually the way I would choose it. But it's hard when you add the emotion into it. It really is.
Honestly,
Yeah, I know.
I
Like
had
I
trouble
say, it's a
answering
whole.
it,
It's
too.
it's a
honestly.
no-win scenario. You're gonna leave this with someone dead and you personally traumatized.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because either way, like, whoever survives is still gonna, like, say those 5 people do and the one dies, they'll have survivor's guilt because they'll be like, why'd you save us and not them? Type of thing.
But
Yeah,
would
so
it be
I'll
better
leave
in a
it to
pack mentality? It's like if the 5 of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Teddy. If the 5 of us survived something, we have people to commiserate with. We have somebody that
That's true.
shared that experience. Where that one person
It's all alone.
is all, yeah.
Yeah, but then again, considering the circumstances you put, it's someone who's all alone with you. Which means you're the one. It means the burden of helping them is on you.
That's true. We're controlling the train.
But that, to me, would be a different type of burden because you're in control and the other person isn't. So you're both caught up in this scenario, but your reactions to it and your emotions to it are going to be completely different. All right, I've got another one. You had.
No. Change it, because these are
Well, because I was
a sad question.
I was trying to find different questions And apparently, all moral or ethical dilemma questions are very dark and heavy. So I had to end up Googling like kids' moral questions, cute
yes.
ethical dilemmas.
Yes, bring up. Trying to teach ethics to an entire group of children who have yet to comprehend the concept of consequences.
So it's something to ease people in. So I've got a little bit of a lighter one because they did get dark. You
Got dark very fast.
It got dark very fast. You are in a math class at a private school. You are a scholarship student, and your best friend, who is sitting right next to you in that math class, has a very wealthy family. They can afford to go there. During a test, you cheat off of your friend, that wealthy student. The teacher sees the tests and realizes somebody cheated and blames your friend. Somebody's getting suspended. Do you let your friend take the fall and have that on their record, even though that they are from an affluent family and could afford to go to another private school? Or do you fess up being the scholarship student and might not be able to get an opportunity like this again?
Are we best friends like since birth, or just best friends within a year?
Over under. What are the odds of getting caught?
You're caught.
No, I
Somebody is.
You're sitting in a room and like it's either you or you.
The,
Like,
te-
the
the teacher
teacher's
brings
like-
you to the desk. Somebody cheated. I think it's you, and they point to your friend, even though you know that you were the one who did it. Your friend is about to get suspended. They're gonna have
Are
that
we
on their record.
Okay,
Does the friend
okay,
fight
so the
it
real
back?
question is, why are they suspending him over cheating on cheating
That's
on
not
tests?
part of the. That's,
a
because
math
that's
test.
not
you
part
get
of
cheated,
the.
It's a math test. I've
ethical
hardly ever
question.
look. It's a math test. And even I don't think there's too many schools that
It's
care
a
that much
They
about
do.
it.
Super
Cheating is
strict
against
school.
the rules of schools.
It's
So is a lot-
super
You get
strict.
kicked
So
out
there's
of
a lot
school
of
for
things.
cheating.
A lot of things are against the rules. Or against the rules. It
private
didn't
school
stop. It didn't
especially.
stop the various classmates I went to in high school from breaking all of them. Not a single one got suspended.
Well, I have a conscience, and I would feel guilty trying to put the blame on my friend.
Even
so
though.
I would
Even though
confess.
that their family could afford to put them in another super great school somewhere else.
But it
That's
hurts
why
his
I
right.
Why would
wanted
they
to
go a
know how
different-
long they've
why would
been
they go over a
friends.
different
Because
school with
usually,
suspension?
if you've been best friends for however long, they'll take the fall for it because they know that you have more writing at stake than they do. And if they're a true friend, then they'll take the fault, take the suspension because their parents can send them to another school, and they'd be okay with it.
But you can't rely on what their thought process
Oh, I
is
know.
going to be.
Like Lenny, I have a conscience too, so maybe I would. I don't know.
Hector?
Really want to ask me this?
Setting aside why the school would suspend over cheating.
Okay, honestly, despite all this, I think I'm in the same boat as everyone else. I don't have a lot of people that I get along with, so I would feel horrible of doing dirty the one person that I do. So again, I would probably confess too. However,
Uh-oh.
I would use this as a chance of organizing other methods of cheating in the future.
So you're going to become the criminal mastermind?
You don't realize how much I hated my high school, do you?
Okay, well, we're not talking about that.
So yes, I would.
So Hector's going to be loyal to his friends, but then come up with a handbook for cheating and just pass it out to everybody.
Yep.
These are where our ethics lie.
Yes, it's called chaotic. It's called chaotic lawful.
Okay. I like it. I like that everybody in here is so loyal. See, this is why you want to come to the studio, because
That's 'cause
everybody's
we're
going to
all-
make a great friend. They'll never rat you out.
Nope.
So we say. No, that's well, we're good.
Well, for the right price.
Oh, come
You
on.
never know. The scenario changes a little bit. here
If
and
the
there.
scenario changes, you might.
You said but you kept saying he's wealthy. The person is a wealthy person. They can take care of them.
Yeah, he'll
So-
probably be fine. Yeah, no, he'll probably be fine. But
That
he'll
adds.
never
And if you worked it out beforehand, and talked to the person and said, "Hey, like you take this for me, it doesn't hurt you at all because you have all this money."
or fairly.
Yeah, you didn't give us say backstory? Did
You're
they
thinking
have
too.
plans to
You're thinking
cheat?
too small, Lenny.
Does
No.
the friend know?
The friend
Well, you're
doesn't
thinking much too
know.
small.
You looked over and copied
thinking,
their
trying
answers.
to change
Friend's
up a little bit.
completely innocent in this scenario. Friend would never cheat, but they're the one taking the fall for it. So I like that we have a loyal
It's a
crew
good-
here.
Very tricky question. Yeah.
All right, I have another one, and this one is this one gets a little darker too, because can't find just positive ethical questions. They don't exist.
Nope.
You are driving. You hit a pedestrian, and the pedestrian unfortunately passes away. You get out of the car to attend to the situation, and just as you do that, you see a woman running at you, hysterical. And she starts talking, and you realize that she truly believes she's the one who just hit the pedestrian. The cops are coming, and somebody is going to prison for a very long time. What do? Do you let the woman take the fall while she already truly believes that she is the one who did this? Or do you own that you hit this pedestrian and go to prison for a very, very long time?
Why does she think that she?
Girl,
Yeah, it's actually a
she
pretty good
just
question.
does.
It's actually a pretty good question because I'm fairly certain that the police could probably suss out just by looking at the damage of the.
They're
damage
gonna
on the
take her.
body,
It's
they
a
could
it's
figure
a
whose car
open
it was.
it's a
Open
and shut case. She's gonna
Not
fess
really.
up.
Not
They're
really,
gonna.
because if they examine the car and they realize that there's no damage to, there was no damage to it, then it couldn't have possibly been her car that hit the guy in the first place.
Hector.
She just believes. She
Or
did it.
you can make the cop's life more complicated and be like, no, it was me. Like you can confess because
Yeah, but in that case,
I don't know, it's
but any lawyer,
ethical.
yeah, but any lawyer with himself would
conscience,
probably
personal
probably-
conscience.
You
I
feel
don't
pretty
know.
guilty the whole your life sending that other person to prison. I would feel so guilty.
Because sometimes, and like, if anyone that watches like Blue Bloods, NCIS, those cop shows, which I'm obsessed with, they're usually lenient about the sentence when you confess like that. So you might get a little break.
Or at
Time
the very
sentence may
least,
not be as long.
or at the very least,
But
just do months
somebody's
to years.
confessing because she would be. She believes she did it, so she would be confessing.
I would try.
Or you would confess. So the sentence is similar across the board, but somebody is going to prison. Think about that
I
effect.
think I would confess because I like that's like the train thing. It's like I don't know that I'd be able to live with myself because this actually has happened. I actually accidentally hit someone on a bike. They were fine. The bike was busted, and I offered to help bring them to a bus stop or whatever. But I felt incredibly bad after. So I don't know that I would be able to get away with killing someone, accidental or not, whatever. I would confess because I couldn't live with that. Couldn't.
What do you have to say?
No, yeah, my conscience would be eating up at me. I would confess. Plus, you know, if any police are watching, I'd confess.
Now we're gonna have don't confess. Don't do
Yeah.
a blanket confession.
Yeah.
Don't just say I confess. Now
Yeah.
we have that footage of you.
Oh yeah, well that's what they take. Yeah, no one's gonna do that, right?
Don't look into
That
Lenny's
is.
past. Lenny is moral to a fault, I feel. We have to find the question that's going to really stump Lenny.
Yeah, try to find it. You have some more.
We do
questions?
have
Oh,
some
yeah.
more.
How are we
Keep
looking on
arguing.
time, Teddy? I don't mean to.
That's a good question.
Keep arguing.
What?
Keep arguing that the whole car issue. The
10.
whole issue with the
Oh.
Still
car
one more.
question is is that any police officer worth their salt can notice damage done to a car, damage done to the car before
they-
before
But
trying to
here's the
assess who feels
thing.
guilty.
Before we go on to Kelsey's, what she finds a new one. If she has damage and you have damage, then it's a real detective work to try to figure out who did what damage.
Yeah, but it's not hard detective work. I mean,
It depends.
From the question you're
Have you
saying,
done detective work before?
Believe it or not, no. But I'm so not no. But someone had to
Only
study
in
games
video
though.
games. I'm a
Not even that-
master.
Not even that. Part of that course actually did include having to write and design an actual puzzle, an actual logic puzzle, and that kind of. And part of the studying was actually involved reading riddles and reading detective novels. Well, more like short stories. But the whole point of that was understanding that details do change. The things that are left out, and things that are being included, do
Right.
change the outcome outcome of what someone else is going to go look for.
So maybe like the reason why she was confessing, this other lady that comes up hysterically running, saying I did it, maybe
That's-
she's trying to
So that's the thing.
confess to something
So
else.
to change,
Silver
so to
lining.
change the situation, or at least to do a little.
But how are you going to
I'm not saying I'm not going to
detect
confess.
that in that moment when you have to make that decision? I'm
It's easy.
gonna confess or let her confess.
Well,
How do you know that she's guilty about something else?
Well, in order for her to believe that it was her, she first would have to have felt something happen to her car. Which means either she felt that she got rear-ended something, or she just heard the sound and felt something. They felt the car run over something. Now, in the riddle you mentioned you hit a guy. You said that we directly hit a guy. We hit a guy directly.
Okay.
Was that not the riddle? Was that not the whole point of the scenario being brought up? We directly hit the guy, which means that hit the guy out of nowhere, which means that the damage done to the car would have to be at the front, not to the rear of the car.
I think Hector missed his calling. He either needs to be Sherlock Holmes or
I'm a
he
writer.
needs to design escape rooms for a living.
Now my calling was
Yes.
being a writer. Unfortunately, I don't have time
Or
for that.
writer.
or a
Animator.
writer.
You're the animator, they say, right?
I know.
So, yeah.
That's you could do animate virtual escape rooms,
Yes.
That does exist.
but you could do it.
That's different. Well, there's a. Well,
I'd
actually,
buy
no,
into that.
Well, actually,
Yep.
oh, great. That actually does bring up another moral quandary that thankfully is not that dark. So, think of this for a moment. You are doing something that makes you happy, but it makes you happy and gives you somewhat an adequate living. You're good at this thing. You're good at this thing. You're probably better at than most people are, but you know that you probably will never go right above your station just doing this. As opposed to doing something else entirely. It's practically miserable work. It's tedious. It's boring, but it gives you everything. But it fulfills every other need except for your emotional ones. You can buy this other path of work can buy you whatever you need. You meet people you never thought you would get to meet. You pretty much get to go places you always want to go. Problem is, this job is so mind-numbingly tedious that it basically sucks the joy out of it. Would you still pursue that line of work over the one that made you happy, knowing that the other ones just never? It will only ever provide you the base. Only ever provide you the base means.
What would you do, Lenny?
Money, lots of money, over having. I go for the one with a lot more money. You earn more money, even though it's tedious.
It's not just tedious; it's soul-suckingly tedious.
So you're unhappy. So if you're unhappy with all this money, then I guess it's not the money's worth having. So maybe.
But keep in mind, that money is allowing you to do things that you would even if you were happy, you would never get a chance to do.
So then you would be happy with the money. So at the same time,
Well-
so you go through the pain, and then eventually, when you finish working, you get all that money, and you can spend it on
Yeah, but it's fulfillment.
something
So
to
what
seek your
if-
pleasure.
What if you have to do it for the rest of your life? Like there is no retiring.
You changed it. Okay.
So you can't get out of this quickly. You can't just make a lot of money and retire early. It's you're in that job and you're gonna be financially set, or
To be financially set, it's just.
But you'd be unhappy.
But
Yeah.
you're basically going
No,
there.
you
to
gotta-
get
you gotta be
the-
happy.
You're happy
joy
or
squeezed out
If
of
you're
you.
going to be unhappy, then it's not worth it. Then
so
True,
the-
but you're still true. But keep in
You
mind,
said
you
with
miss
the
out
money.
on being
I
the
think-
envy of all your friends.
I think it would depend on how unhappy I am. If I'm making really good money and I'm just like kind of unhappy,
like I
think I
said,
could live with
it's
it.
tedious, soul-squeezing work. Your
Depends
job,
how much I hate it.
Your job is basically to kick a puppy.
I would not be able
well,
kick a
that's
puppy, no,
not
no, no.
tedious. That's harmful. That's
unethical.
Not literally.
that
That's
I would
basically
not
how it
do.
that's how the job. That's how the kind of job feels like. It feels like you go in every day. Every day they give you a
like-
clipboard, and you just have to spend 1 hour deciding which puppy to kick and how far to kick it.
oh.
That's how the job feels like. But you basically get to make a six-figure salary. You have a 6-figure salary, and you get to meet Shaquille O'Neal on the weekends.
So are you working 40 hours? Like, do I get the rest of the week to just live my life up?
It's a 9 to 5. It's a 9 to 5 job. It's a 9 to 5 job. It's just the worst 9 to 5 job imaginable.
I think I could live with that.
Yeah. If I got to really just clock out at 5 and go live my life up with all the money, hey, Slick, can you close that door, please?
Yes, but keep in mind, the whole time you realize
Without
that-
walking.
They
Yeah, there you
realize
go.
by the time you go to bed and have to go back to work, you had to go find. You basically have to go. You have to go figure out how to kick a dachshund puppy 10 feet across a room.
As long as I'm not actually kicking a puppy. Like, if those are the feelings it elicited in me, but I'm not doing harm to creatures of any kind,
I could do that.
yeah, I think I could do that. All right, Daddy? I've got one more to close this out. All right, so this is a semi-lighter one as well. You're in a parking garage late at night. You
Gee.
scrape a Porsche. Just keeping in
I
mind.
don't
How
feel
big's the
anything.
screen?
Oh, I feel nothing in that case.
She hasn't
It's a
finished yet.
Porsche.
You scrape a Porsche. It's a hefty dent.
Okay.
It's dark, nobody's gonna know. Do you leave a note?
No.
Hector
Yeah,
was
you
real
have
quick
to. What do you
answering
even know?
that.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do? But legally, if it happens,
Well,
Leave a note.
oh, you have to leave a note.
yeah. You exchange information,
Even
so
if
you're
you
gonna
you're
pay.
not supposed to wait there for the person. You're supposed to just leave a note
No.
and leave. Yeah.
No,
I don't
you
know.
just
I don't
leave
know
a
how.
note.
Also,
It's
as a
just
woman,
leave
I'm not waiting in a dark parking garage forever for whoever
Yeah.
mystery Porsche
it.
person
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
is.
saying I was wondering
Also,
what you're
I'm
supposed to
gonna
do.
Also,
leave
it's
my
a
email
Porsche.
so they can get my
Also, they drive a
information.
Porsche, so shame on them to begin with.
But you don't know. You don't. Is this person super wealthy, or did they pinch
Doesn't
and
matter.
save for
Doesn't matter. Buy a
years to
European
be able to?
sports
This
car.
is their one nice thing in their life.
Doesn't matter. They
You
buy a
don't
European
know.
sports car.
Hector's just doing. Okay, so pick a nice car of your choice. Something that is the top of the line for you.
The answer is still no.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Hector. I mean, morally, like, yes, obviously we should leave a note with our information, but if it's a dark alley, no cameras, you know there's no cameras, you know there's no one around, what's the harm?
I mean, you feel bad about it.
Right, you feel bad, but I mean, again, it's a Porsche. Obviously, if they have a Porsche, they have the money to fix it. They're going to be pissed.
You don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
If someone did it to me, I would want a note, so I would leave a note.
Yeah, two and two others. If you don't know what you.
Yeah,
Lenny?
considering the number
That's
of
what
times
you're,
happened
that's
to
what
my
you're supposed
car,
to do.
That's
and
what
they
you're
have
supposed
That's
to
what
do.
you do.
That's-
Is this the
When I
one
get
that
caught-
stumps you?
If I
If I
You've
got
been
caught,
more.
what if I got caught? So I
I had
guess
to call the
what
freaking
if they get a
insurance.
camera or something? See,
Insurance, like,
You won't get
90 times.
caught.
Parking garage, no one get caught?
You
See, for me, it doesn't matter whether it's a Porsche
You
or
know what?
Corolla because I have
It's
the
the-
Corolla and
it's the
I
one
have
you-
dents
it's
on my
just a
car.
one
I have
person.
no idea how they got there. None. Someone could have done it and left away, so that's why I'm kind of like, well,
See, I have had this happen where I backed into somebody, and it was in my work parking lot, so there were no cameras, and I could have left, but I left a note, and I said, "Listen, like I did this. I'm sorry."
that's different though. You know them.
No, we 1 minute. All right, it didn't know them. They were visiting. They were from out of town. Would never have seen them again. And I did leave a note because, like you were saying, if it happened to you, you would want somebody to leave a note.
That's your
Fortunately, it
conscience
has-
or whatever. Talking,
Fortunately,
I
it
guess,
has
yeah.
happened to me.
The
So-
conscience or something, the part of the brain or
Yeah.
wherever you locate. I don't know where it is, but
So
Moral,
stuff
yeah.
like that, money related, I'd have a, I'd do the right thing. But if it's the train track situation, I personally would save my family.
ooh.
So, all questions to think about. We're going to continue this series on and off throughout our show, so stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed. If you have a question that you want us to ask, leave it in the comments below. We really want to kind of stump the brains of our group here. These are fun questions, and you learn a little bit about yourself in the process. Thanks for watching. Tune in next week, Tuesday at 11, for another Spotlight.